Okay, welcome to the deep dive. We've got a really interesting source today. It's a news hub from 9 to 5 Mac, and it's all about Apple's WWDC 2025 keynote.
Yeah, WWDC keynotes are always just a massive amount of information, aren't they? The source is great, though, helps sort through it all.
Exactly. So our plan here is to really unpack this source, pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising details, especially about the new operating systems.
And the source gets right to it. Two huge things jump out. A big new design language across the board, and maybe even more surprising. Unified version numbers for everything.
Like unified numbers, like the same number for iOS, macOS, everything. That feels different.
It really does. The source confirms that they're all moving to version 26 this year. So
Yeah.
you've got iOS 26, iPadOS 26, macOS 26, which, by the way, is called Tahoe.
Ah, okay.
And tvOS 26, watchOS 26, and VisionOS 26 too. All 26. Apparently, Craig Federighi himself confirmed this push for Unity.
Wow. Okay. 26 it is. And this new design, liquid glass, the source calls it. Is that the actual name?
Seems like it, yeah. The source uses it directly. And they really stress that this is all new, not just tweaking things. It's the first really big visual change for iOS since, iOS 7? That was ages ago.
Over a decade, yeah.
Right. And crucially, it's not just for iPhone. This liquid glass look is coming to multiple platforms. Think transparency, maybe more depth, a fluid kind of feel. That's the vibe I get from the name.
Interesting. Okay, let's dig into the platforms then.
Hmm.
Starting with the big one, iOS 26. That's where this liquid glass thing kicks off.
Exactly. iOS 26 is the showcase for it.
In the source mentioned some specific app updates within iOS. Something about CarPlay Ultra.
Yeah, CarPlay Ultra sounds like a pretty significant upgrade.
Yeah.
The source mentions new icons, more widget support, and live activities are coming to CarPlay too.
Ah, live activities. Those things on the lock screen, like tracking pizza delivery. Makes sense for the car quick info.
Totally. Glanceable stuff. And for gamers, there's a dedicated Apple Games app. Yeah, it sounds quite organized. A home tab for featured games, a library for your downloads, and this Play Together section integrates with challenges, shows what friends are playing, sort of a social gaming hub on your phone.
Okay. And core apps. Any design changes there?
The source mentions a couple. The camera app is apparently simplified clear photo and video tabs. And Photos gets a revamp with tabs to better separate your library from, curated collections and albums.
Makes sense. What about calling and texting?
Big updates there, too. The phone app's redesigned. It's getting live transcription.
And you can see the call as text, live.
Exactly. And something called Hold Assist maybe helps manage when you're on hold, gives updates or something.
Hold Assist could be genuinely useful. And messages. Anything for group chats.
Yeah, group chats get some attention, custom backgrounds, clearer typing indicators so you know who's typing, and Apple Cash right in the chat for splitting bills easily. Seems focused on making group stuff smoother.
That bill splitting sounds handy.
And translation features are coming system-wide, integrated into phone and messages specifically. Very practical.
Now the AI stuff, Apple Intelligence, Genmoji and Image Playgrounds. What's new?
Right, so Genmoji creating custom emojis now lets you combine existing ones and use text prompts. Image Playgrounds for generating images, the source explicitly says it uses ChatGPT models.
Interesting confirmation there. And visual intelligence, the thing that identifies objects in photos.
Yeah, that's expanding. You can now use it directly from screenshots, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, take a screenshot, and it sounds like visual intelligence can analyze it. And there's an Ask button mentioned, letting you query ChatGPT about what's in the screenshot.
So screenshot a landmark, tap, ask, and get info from ChatGPT. That could be really powerful.
Definitely a neat workflow. Music app gets updates too. Lyrics translation, pronunciation guides, good for sing-alongs, or language learning auto mix for smooth transitions between songs, and pinning artists or playlists.
All sounds like good quality of life stuff.
The source does say new maps and wallet features were announced, but this specific piece doesn't detail them, just notes they were updated.
Okay, fair enough. Let's pivot to the macOS 26, Tahoe. How does liquid glass look there?
The source points to the dock and the menu bar specifically, so those core elements get the new transparent, glassy look.
Right, and it inherits features from iOS, yeah, like messages.
Yep, those messages updates, we talked about custom backgrounds, typing indicators, Apple Cash, they're coming to Mac, and the translation features too.
Now, live activities on the Mac.
They're coming, accessible from the menu bar. Makes sense for keeping an eye on things while you work. Oh, and the phone app is coming to the Mac too.
That's handy. What about shortcuts? Anything new?
big boost for shortcuts on Mac. The source says you can trigger them automatically, like when you plug in a monitor. And there's Apple Intelligence integration mentioned too.
Okay. And Spotlight, the search tool.
Huge update, apparently. The source calls it the biggest update ever. It's getting actions, so you can maybe do stuff right from search. New design. Quick keys, like typing ism for send message.
Vic keys sound useful.
And a built-in clipboard manager in Spotlight. That's a power user feature right there.
Definitely. Managing multiple copied items.
And remember that Apple Games app for iOS coming to macOS Tahoe, too. Dedicated place for Mac games.
Good to see gaming getting attention on the Mac. Okay, iPadOS 26. It gets liquid glass and the shared stuff like messages, right?
Correct. Liquid glass design, messages updates, Safari improvements, all there. But the big story for iPadOS, according to the source, is multitasking.
Ah, yes. Always the big question for iPad. What's changing?
Sounds like a major overhaul. Much easier window resizing. Windows can now be partially off screen. There's a new cursor design. And get this, classic stoplight window controls.
The red, yellow, green dots on iPad.
Yep. And new gestures, plus an expose-like view to see all your open windows. It feels like they're leaning much more into a desktop-style experience.
That does sound significant. And a menu bar, too.
A new menu bar is confirmed for iPadOS as well.
Okay. Files app. Any improvements?
Some good ones noted. Setting default views, resizable columns, you can add folders to the dock now, and a totally new preview app just for viewing and editing PDFs on iPad.
A dedicated preview app for PDFs sounds really useful for productivity.
Absolutely. And another key thing, background tasks.
Meaning
Long processes, like exporting a big video file, can finally keep running in the background even if you switch apps. That's a huge limitation addressed.
that is a big deal for creators using iPads.
Definitely. The source also mentions audio-video enhancements, a new audio input selector, local recording features for audio and video, and new audio processing tools.
Lots happening on iPadOS.
Yeah.
And the source mentioned compatibility info is separate, right?
Yeah, separate guide for which iPads get iPadOS 26.
Okay. Let's head to the living room, tvOS 26 for Apple TV. Liquid glass there, too.
Yep. The source confirms the new design language extends to Apple TV.
And the TV app itself
Yeah.
changes.
Visual tweaks, mainly. Larger poster art for movies and shows is mentioned. And a practical change. You can now have it show profiles every time the Apple TV wakes up. Easier for families.
Makes sense. Anything else for tvOS?
The music app gets upgraded with new Apple Music Sing features for the karaoke nights.
All right. Now, the wrist. watchOS 26. Also getting the liquid glass treatment.
Seems so. A revamped design language is mentioned, likely aligning with liquid glass.
And the Smart Stack, the widgets.
Upgraded. It has a new prediction algorithm, the source says. Should be better at showing you relevant info based on context.
Okay. And a new gesture. Wrist flick.
Yeah, sounds like a quick physical gesture to dismiss notifications, leave the smart stack, things like that. Hands-free interaction.
Interesting. What's this workout buddy feature?
This sounds quite cool. It's AI-powered, designed to give you deeper insights into your workout data, like a little AI coach.
AI coach.
Yeah, and it can apparently use an artificial voice to give you updates during the workout so you don't need to listen down.
Whoa, okay. That feels like a step forward for the workout app, which, the source says, has also been redesigned.
Correct. The workout app gets a redesign too. And
Like that.
again, compatibility for watches is in a separate guide.
Got it. Last but not least, VisionOS 26 for Vision Pro. What are the highlights there?
Key things listed are spatial widgets, placing widgets in your 3D space, new Apple Intelligence features tailored for spatial computing, and new spatial scenes for immersion.
And personas, those digital avatars.
Big update there, apparently.
Yeah.
The source says the goal is making them feel significantly more natural and familiar. That's always been a tricky area.
Yeah, making them less uncanny. What else?
A new spatial browsing mode is mentioned, maybe changing web navigation. And interestingly, support for PSVR 2 controllers.
PlayStation VR controllers. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, opens up some possibilities there.
So, looking back at everything in this source,
Okay.
it's a huge range of updates. Design, productivity, AI, communication, gaming, hitting every platform.
It really is comprehensive. You can see how certain things like, say, the iPad multitasking changes combined with the Files app improvements could really shift how someone uses that device for serious work.
Or the AI stuff like analyzing screenshots or
Yeah.
that workout buddy. Little things that could change daily routines.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so just to quickly recap what we've pulled from this 9 to 5 Mac source, on WWDC 2025.
We covered the big news, unified version 26 across iOS, iPadOS, macOS Tahoe, tvOS, watchOS, and VisionOS. We talked about that major liquid glass redesign, iOS's first big visual shift in over 10 years.
Right. And we touched on key features detailed in the source for each platform. Things like the revamped CarPlay, the new Games app, updates to phone and messages with translation and AI, Genmoji, image playgrounds.
The big spotlight and multitasking updates for Mac and iPad, respectively, background tasks on iPad, Workout Buddy on the watch, and improvements to personas and spatial features on VisionOS. Quite a list.
So, thinking bigger picture for a second. This first major design change since iOS 7, plus unifying all the version numbers, what do you think that signals about where Apple's headed? Is it pushing for a more, I don't know, seamless or even a sort of singular experience across all the different devices?
That unified number feels like a deliberate statement, doesn't it? It makes you wonder. Out of everything we discussed based on this source, what's the one feature or change that really jumps out at you? How might it change how you use your Apple stuff day to day? Or maybe how you wish you could?
Something to think about as you go about your day. Thanks for diving deep with us today.